This is American Thought Leaders, and I'm Yanya Kellick. Right now I'm sitting down with former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer. Sean, pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So, if there's one thing you want to share with our audience, being here at CPAC, all the energy happening, what is your most important message here today?
Go to SeanSpicer.com. I think that what CPAC does, in my mind, is two things. One is it energizes the base, right? The folks that are here, that are the activists. But second is it educates them. You hear from such a diversity of speakers on a wide variety of issues that it gets you recharged to hear the most cutting edge messages and ideas and thoughts in the conservative movement. So it really takes the key activists and people within the movement and gets them re-energized, refocused, re-educated.
Are there any particular policy issues that are very important to you?
Well, I mean, there's a lot that are important to me. I mean, I'm a social conservative. I believe in life. That's obviously important to me. But I think that right now, when you look at the battle lines of our country, we used to have these fights over amount of funding and size of government. I truly believe that right now, if you look at what's the debate that's going on in the new crop of elected Democrats, that we are truly fighting for the heart and soul of the country. There is a group of Democrats, and a growing group, that's talking about socialism. They're talking about who we are as a country. They're talking about drowning out conservative voices. They're talking about a progressive agenda that undermines, I think, the ability of people to fundamentally practice and believe and live their faith. And so I think that if you care about America and what I believe our founding fathers fought for, the freedom of free enterprise, capitalism, all of that is under attack.
What do you make of this whole situation where on one side we have our president in Vietnam negotiating, very, very sensitive things. On the other hand, there's this Cohen hearing happening.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's a great question. The Democrats won the House of Representatives in the last election. They have every right to have the hearings they want and call the witnesses they do. I am a firm believer that elections have consequences. But they chose a day that could have been any day to call this witness in when the president was overseas. It used to be in our country that politics ended at the water's edge when the president traveled overseas. The president wasn't overseas attending a state funeral. He wasn't overseas getting an award. He wasn't overseas attending a conference. He was overseas negotiating with a dictator that has nuclear weapons that threaten not only the Crimean Peninsula, the region, but our own country. And they wanted to have that as a split screen. We all, everyone, Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, independent, should have been rooting for our president and our country yesterday. Instead, that was the choice that we were given. And as a former staffer, let me just tell you that it would have been malpractice for the staff not to pay attention to what Mr. Cohen was testifying on and accusing, right? And so therefore, the staff and the people around the president could not, by nature of that, give 100% to the issue at hand. And that meant that we were not doing our best as a country to make the world safer.
Okay, I know you got to run. Anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
No, thanks for having me, and I think it's important that we continue to have these thoughtful discussions about where we are as a country and what's at stake.
Fantastic. Such a pleasure, Sean.
Thank you. Appreciate it.